Happy St. Patrick's Day! Hello, chiming in from outside today. The journey to inspire self love can be challenging at times. I know for myself personally, it's an everyday thing because if not, I get trapped. I get trapped into the old cycles of being, those old negative repeating thoughts, that old trauma history that sometimes just comes back, gets triggered, and then there I am, stuck for days. You know, it used to be for months, it used to be for years I was stuck in that. And thankfully, it is no longer the case. However, I am still on this journey too because things come up. And today I wanted to kind of just talk about that a little bit about how things have been difficult for myself personally lately. Mostly, I think, related to, my divorce and things that happened there. Not necessarily because, like, I miss the particular person, right? Like, there are parts of me that misses, like, the good times that we had together, especially when there's high conflict moments and situations with our relationship now, trying to navigate being raising a child together. However, for me personally, I never wanted to be divorced. But I think when I look back, I kind of self sabotaged myself, right? Because I didn't love myself enough to walk away from something I knew was going to eventually have this type of outcome. I didn't acknowledge those things because I was afraid of being alone. And so being alone now by choice is usually pretty good. Usually I feel like empowered to be alone, that I've been on a mission to myself, to love myself more, to work on myself, to work on my morning routines, to work on my mental attitude, to not allow myself to negatively talk to myself, to work on my financial, because I had been scammed for a while and then now I've gotten in some debt trying to learn how to do this and how to, uh, you know, grow through with coaching and becoming a better person myself. So it all is part of life, right? But it's exciting and good to remember that no matter the setbacks, no matter the life I've already lived, that I have the choice and the ability to create a better life ahead of me. And so that's why I'm here today, just to kind of remind you that you're not alone in this struggle. I'm not alone in the struggle. I know sometimes I feel alone, especially after growing up as an only child and having had multiple years of times where I felt like I'm so alone, nobody understands me, nobody gets me. I think that afraidness, or the fear, I guess would be a better way, the fear of expressing that vulnerable part of me sometimes gets the better part of me. Like sometimes I stay quiet because I used to be such an emotional person when I was young. I used to cry a lot. I used to, talk a lot about my problems because I didn't know I was codependent even from a young age. And I used to have to repeat the same story over and over and over again before I could finally let it go and move on. And in a way, I still have that. Now I have to learn to express it in a healthier way, learn to create value out of my pain and my sorrow, because I'm not the only one that's gone through hard things, and there's people that have gone through much more horrific things than I have gone through. However, they are all important in a way that they shape and mold who we are as individuals, and who we are can lead to promoting something better within ourselves, right? And promoting other people to also encouraging other people to also move ahead no matter the struggles that they face. I'm sitting here in my elementary school parking lot filming this video just for privacy. I'm not showing the parking lot because I probably will be enrolling my toddler into this school soon, and so just to kind of help keep that privacy, I'm showing the opposite side of the street here. But I remember as little as second grade, first or second grade, probably second grade. I think it was like the first to second grade. There was a lot of life changes for me. I was already like one of the only brown kids in the school, like only dark skin, dark hair, dark eyes kid in the school. And I don't exactly remember what the shift was. Well, I feel like possibly like this rejection from a friend, like one of my best friends in first grade, like I got rejected by her moving into second grade, and I think that was really a big stemming problem, especially now looking back and realizing that I have sort of like an issue with rejection and an issue with abandonment. Um, which is weird to think about as an adult, right? Because like I'm here, I'm by myself, but like I also love my alone time now. I don't get to have a whole lot of alone time, especially being a single mom with sole physical custody. So it's nice to have those moments of alone time and to get to understand myself. But sometimes that alone time also is like painful because it reminds me of the things I don't have. Sometimes it creates this perfect environment for my mind to spiral and to think all these negative thoughts about myself, which I've been working on and I continue to work on, and realized looking back just these last few weeks that I kind of fell off my game of saying, no, I am a strong, independent woman. I am loved. I am worthy of love. I am capable of love. I am capable of making a change in the world, even if it's just to the small few people, like to like the few people around me now, or to, you know, even one other person. I know personally that I've had a few people reach out and say that my content does help them kind of have hope for more, and a few people have reached out to me to work with me, and I would love to include more women in my working circle. On Facebook, my private Facebook group is called Inspire Self Love Women Warriors. And the big reason for that is because, like I said, I've battled through the darkness for years and years and years, as early as second grade. And throughout the years up until now, I've had at least three times, I think, at least three times where I've idolized being dead. And why is it me that's a living instead of someone else? Or like how life could be so much better if I just gave in to that darkness and didn't live anymore. I don't agree with that. I think that was a very true point of darkness in my life and the different areas and the different phases of my life. I'm thankful that I no longer do that. I used to self-harm when I was a young child, well, like a teenager. Not really young, but I guess it feels like a young time now. It's been quite some time, 13 years, since I last self-harmed when it comes to physically like damaging my skin. And what an amazing journey this has gotten to be. I think that sometimes I get triggered and then I start thinking like I'm just this poor me, poor victim mentality. And it's like, no, I refuse to allow my mind to stay there, because the fact is I've had some difficult things in my life. Yeah. But that doesn't have to be my outcome. That doesn't have to be my ending. And so I'm here on a mission trying to inspire self love. I would just love to get some engagement from any of you that struggle with self love, because I know I'm not alone. I think that there's a big part of it that has to do with codependence, and some people don't really know or like that term a whole lot. But I have been in my own CODA groups, like my own 12-step study groups for Codependency Anonymous, and I will tell you, it is a big game changer in life, and it helps you so much. Sometimes I think I need to dive a little deeper and look into maybe some PTSD stuff, because there's some trauma that I think that I've been hanging on to and not really able to let go of. It's kind of like something that I keep regressing to. And so I'm interested in looking into that. And I've shared some of the traumas that I've experienced on my channel. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I'm here to try to work on my self-love and empower others to do it as well. And it's a journey, right? So there's always things that are going up and down, but I want to try but maybe delve a little bit further into what that trauma looked like. Because it was very low-key abuse and low-key trauma that I didn't realize until I was out that it was actually a little bit of abusive situation that I was in. And one of the ways that I know that it was abusive, right, is that I am still kind of stuck on it. Like, there's still things that I have a hard time moving forward from. And it's like when it's really love and it's really just like the end of a relationship because things don't work out, it doesn't withhold so much time to let go of, right? Like, I remember going through breakups in my past where, you know, maybe a few months, and then sure, a little few months are difficult. But then after that, like, I was able to bounce back and move forward. So I think that there's some trauma work I have to do myself, maybe some energy work. And so I'm excited to like come into this new understanding that my journey is not over yet. I am never claimed to be perfect. I never claim to have all the answers, but I do know that I'm here wanting to encourage myself and encourage other women to come out with their stories, to come to the realizations that sometimes we make bad choices because we weren't loving ourselves, and to empower ourselves to start loving ourselves and speaking our truth and coming out with ways to improve ourselves, ways to love ourselves more, and just to, you know, help each other relate and know that we're not alone on this journey. Because sometimes I think that's the biggest culprit of all, right? Like, I think before now, I used to be a lot less spiritual. And so previously, that darkness used to call to me extremely, like, so much. I don't even know how to tell you. Like, every day it was a battle. Every single day I had filled with anxiety and depression and resentments and just self-loathing. I just didn't love myself. I wasn't happy with who I was. I wasn't happy with doing what I was doing. And I think that in some ways I still am there. There's still things that I need to work on. There's still things that I want to get better at and improve on. And the only way you start is by acknowledging it and saying your truth, and then saying you want to move forward. Like, what are the next action steps for you? For me, my action steps are going to be to show up. I think I'm going to be making some more videos in my car on the way into work, because I have a day job. I work a Monday through Friday day job at a local children's hospital, and I love it, but it's a lot of work. You know, sometimes I get sucked into life, into work, and then I'm just off of my content creation. And to be honest, this fills me up. I know right now I might be talking to myself, but I hope that I'm connecting with you, because I'm trying to connect with the girl that I used to be, trying to connect with someone else that's had these same feelings and, you know, kind of feeling stuck, because I get stuck. I feel stuck often. I feel like, what is going on with me that I can't move forward? What is it that I'm still lacking? And for me, it's that ability to remember to show up, to remember that I can show up and be a little emotional. And just a heads up, I'm going to really work on this. So if you're on my socials, I'm going to try and be doing more Insta stories. And I think those are linked up to my Facebook business page. And it's hard to be a single mom. It's hard to be just living this life sometimes. Sometimes this life is just hard, and there's just no rhyme or reason to why it's so hard. But I do know one thing. Before, like I was saying, when I was in spiritual, I used to just get slammed by the darkness day after day. And now, thankfully, I am a lot closer to God, my higher power, and I stop and I pray, and I do a lot more praying than I used to, and absorbing God and His healing, or the Creator, the universe, whatever words you'd like to use, Spirit. And it fills me up. Sometimes it fills me up, and I'm good to go. I'm able to return back to life. But sometimes I feel it, and I feel the goodness, and then the darkness just kind of pulls me back. And so that's why I'm here, because I'm wanting to fight the darkness. Like, I'm not very religious, but I am spiritual, and I believe that there is something greater out there. And I honestly believe that we are all here to make a difference, and that difference that we want to make is up to the Creator, because He gave it to us and continues to give it to us, because sometimes it's not a full clear picture. Sometimes it's just one step at a time, and it's up to us, our choices, and what we're gonna do. If we're gonna follow the creation life of us, or if we're gonna follow the despair side of us, the events that happen, the negative things that happen, the negative people in our life. Like, what are we gonna choose to listen to? The Creator of unknown potential abilities, of a lot of unknown still, or the continued unknownness of staying stuck in the same place, just spiraling and being trapped inside of our minds, that is being fed by a lot of dark entities and negative people in our lives, people that are easily ready to tear us down and to just let us not feel important. I know I have leaned into this side a lot in my life, but I have been leaning into the creator side of my life a lot more lately, and admittedly, I got pulled back. So if you have been pulled back, please give me a like in this comment, like a like or a comment on what's holding you back, what's been pulling you back from your journey to inspire self-love, because we are in this together, and it is not a COVID statement, but we are in this together. This world is beautiful and is full of life and love and abundance, and I just want to keep moving towards that instead of allowing myself to be stuck. So, happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you're celebrating and wearing some green today. Got my nails did the other day. Au revoir.